Hey guys, my name is Diego Noé Abril Ardila and I'm going to talk about the climate change. I think this is a really important topic to discuss because if we become conscious and we understand how our decisions impact the environment, we can make adjustments to our lifestyle in order to decrease our contribution to pollution. In this video, I'm going to give you some examples of the ways how we can do this. Also, I'm going to talk about the consequences that will occur if we do not make any change to our ways of living. Guys, I want to tell you something. We are still young, right? And we will be living in this earth for many years to come. So it is up to us to be the first generation to take care of the earth, so then we can live our lives to the fullest, and so our kids can do the same. The global warming is a topic that we cannot ignore, and as a society we participate in so many different ways to the destruction of the world, which involves, for example, driving our cars or motorcycles more than necessary, or purchasing produce manufactured in factories that emits concerningly high quantities of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and high amounts of air travels which do the same. Also, other ways in which we impact the health of the earth is by supporting companies that destroy the forests, or by supporting companies that use large monocultures. Guys, we are already experiencing the results that our excessive emissions of greenhouse gases are having on the environment. You know that some research has shown that the polar ice caps and the glaciers are decreasing in size, and this is due to the unusual warm winter and to the increasingly hot summer. As a result, the sea level is steadily rising, and this will endanger some coastal cities with flood. This sea level not only will create or produce destruction and death, but also will contaminate the agricultural lands, aquifers, and plant life with salt and chemicals that exist due to the pollution in the ocean. Now I'm going to talk about how the pollution affects countries like Colombia and cities like Bogota. Because I live in Bogota for most of the year, and I can speak from my experience that the air quality is very poor. So sometimes I can see the thick clouds of pollution in the air, and the smoke can even block the view of the mountains that surround the city. When I'm outside in Bogota, I can smell the toxic fumes that come from Transmilenio, the trucks, the cars, the motorcycles. Now, I'm not saying that I don't like Bogota because it's a really nice city, but Bogota, as other principal cities around the world, is facing a really big problem of traffic, and people in Bogota really need to pay attention to this because it might cause respiratory diseases. The pollution has gotten so bad in Bogota that the city government sometimes imposes a no-car day. But some statistics of the National University of Colombia has shown that on those days the pollution can even increase, and this is due to the fumes emitted by the Transmilenio buses. On that day, much more people take the public transport, which forces the company to use more buses. This shows that the biggest contributor to pollution in Bogota is Transmilenio. However, this company continues to use all buses that do not meet the international standards for carbon emissions. So now guys, I'm going to show you some images that are going to let you know how the Transmillennial buses are affecting the city. The first step that before we can begin to make any change in our life is to become conscious of how rapidly the earth is becoming damaged and how the decisions we make influences the future of the planet. For example, I want you to think in the earth as the house you live in. When you are at home, do you throw the garbage on the floor, or maybe do you let the dishes pile up, or do you allow the house to be dirty and never clean? Yeah, I know so many people do this, but when you go to their houses, it smells really bad. It makes you feel uncomfortable, like you wanna go from that, you wanna get out of that place. So in order to maintain a clean house, you have to sweep them up, you have to clean the dishes and throw the garbage. And the earth is the same. If we, for example, if we continue to pollute it, the contamination will accumulate. And if the contamination accumulates, the earth is going to be an ugly and smelly and horrible place. So we must realize that we are part of the earth and we breathe the oxygen that the earth provides us. We drink from its water and we eat the food from the ground. So if we contaminate the water, if we contaminate the air, if we contaminate the soil, we will be unhealthy and weak, and maybe in the future we will be extinct. So once we truly understand this, we can start making change in our lives because we realize how important it is. The first thing that you can do is to recycle plastic and glass to compost. Another thing that you can do is to bike more often instead of driving a car, and to walk more if you are able to. This is good for you and for the planet. Another thing that you can do is to use the power of your vote to elect politicians that promote the environmentally friendly laws. And the last thing that you also can do to help the planet is to purchase reusable glass Tupperware and canvas bags. So as you can see, these solutions are really simple and do not require a big effort. And in conclusion, I think that if we all make these changes to our life, we can create a significant positive impact on the environment, and we will have a beautiful earth to live and to enjoy. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video and have learned so many different ways of how you can take care of the earth. And thank you for watching and have a nice day.